great example of that, David Ignatius from the Washington Post has discovered CIA officer Mark Sageman's book. Sageman is a former case officer that ran spies in Pakistan for us, and then became a forensic psychiatrist. And he writes that there were 3 levels of terrorists. The original ones in the 1980s, or 3 members of Qaida, I should say. The original ones that were actually on our side in the 1980s with Osama bin Laden, the Mujahideen, and they numbered into the several hundreds, at some point several thousand, but their ranks have been severely diminished through war, first with the Soviets, then us, et cetera, et cetera. And then there was the Al-Qaeda core group in the 1990s that wound up, of course, bombing us or attacking us on 2001, and he thinks their number is down to the dozens. There's only dozens of them left. And that if we didn't pay so much attention to them, they might have already almost died off. And this is one of the guys that's preeminent expert in the world on this. His book is called Leaderless Jihad. Now he says there's a third wave of terrorism, and those are the guys that are young. Their average age is 20. They're much, much younger than the other guys, and they haven't read the Quran. They're basically not even really Muslim. They're more, as he puts them, almost like urban gang members than motivated to Islam. And they get together on the internet and they trade pictures of Abu Ghraib, and they work themselves up in private chat rooms about how terrible what America did to Iraq is. And then they go and they join the fight and they become part of Al-Qaeda in Iraq. And let me give you the quote here from Ignatius's piece. He says, Sageman's harshest judgment is that the United States is making the terrorism problem worse by its actions in Iraq. Quoting Sageman now, since 2003, the war in Iraq has without question fueled the process of radicalization worldwide, including the U.S. The data are crystal clear. And Ignatius writes, we have taken a fire that would otherwise burn itself out and poured gasoline on it. And to which I say, of course! We've been telling you that for 5 long years. Now, you might say, hey, Jake, you're being unfair to Ignatius. He just pointed out all these good things. And pointed out the guy's book, but he doesn't buy it. Look at the last paragraph from Ignatius. And this is supposed to be one of the liberal writers in Washington, D.C., and that side of that Washington bubble. Guys who aren't liberal at all and think the conservatives are right about everything. The last paragraph. I don't agree with all of Sageman's arguments, especially about the consequence of a quick drawdown in Iraq. Now, he could be right about everything, and he's right that Iraq is fueling terrorism and making terrorism worse. But in the end, I still have to, by law, agree with the Republicans because I'm inside the Washington bubble. Oh, don't get me wrong. He's right about everything, but we should still stay in Iraq. Why? Why? Didn't you just read his book and tell us how great it was? No. But in the end, the Republicans are always right. We should still stay in Iraq, and I don't agree. Based on what? The Washington bubble has driven this country, over the cliff, and we got to get rid of these guys. Of course, Iraq is what's fueling them, and of course they would have died down if we didn't talk about how glorious this existential war is. And Ignatius, throughout the piece, seems genuinely surprised, like the last 5 years didn't happen. He's like, well, and they say that we're glorifying it by calling it a clash of civilizations. You don't say. Really. And by calling it the global war on terror, it raises their profile, these new jihadists. Really? I wish somebody had told us that in the last 5 years.